University of North Alabama. Brent Dearman, fresh off North Alabama's dominating win over Utah Tech on Saturday. Final score, UNA put up over 60 points offensively, 60-14, the final score in that one. And, Coach, you and I spoke earlier this week in some interviews. This team has battled a lot this season. Well, we've seen it all year long in every single ball game. Had to be pretty sweet for this team to get to celebrate such a game like this where everything finally went right for us.
Yeah, it was. It's 2 straight weeks now where you got 2 different kind of wins where West Georgia, you had to battle. We're down right before halftime. I attribute that win to that 2-minute drive right before the half where you go through some adversity in that game and you keep chopping away and you come away with a win that night. And then to come back from an adverse win and to have a win like we just had, it's a great feeling for the staff, great feeling for the players to be able to come out and dominate in a way. So you can get a lot of younger guys in the game. You can develop guys in a game like that. But it was a great feeling to have for sure.
How much of this great offensive run has been sparked by the opening drive? I think we're 4 straight games now where we have scored on the first possession.
It's been really nice. When you can go ahead and take it the lead, make a team catch up a lot of times. Another thing that we've done here in the last 4 or 5 games is the 2-point play or the swinging gate or whatever it's called, where you can even add another one on, and they're chasing 8 points instead of 7 points. So I think our staff has done a really good job schematically of throwing some things out there that the defense is not prepared for in that opening drive. Our players have done a good job of executing early in the game. And like I said, when you take the ball and you score first, it puts pressure on that other team's offense to go out there and produce. So hopefully we can keep it going this week.
Coach, I'm just watching these highlights, and let's go back to that opening drive a little bit because that's where it all seemed to start. It just seemed like every play you were calling, it was a first down. It was 12 yards, maybe 15 yards, and then and you get really close and you're moving the chains constantly, and then you get in the end zone. That's got to give you a lot of confidence as a play caller, knowing that, hey, pretty much anything we're doing right now is working. And just how does that help you gain momentum throughout the game?
Oh, it's a good feeling, definitely, as a play caller that you don't worry about a negative play. You don't get in your own head sometimes, and when things are not working as well, you probably question yourself a little bit more than you normally would. So when things are hitting a lot early, you call things more freely. We ragged him all week. We're going to rag him probably even more today. But Takari Kennepru had an opportunity on that first drive to have a big-time touchdown catch and drops it. We're usually a team, a play like that can deflate you a little bit, and I was excited for our team to turn the page, keep moving, and end up still scoring on that first drive. So, but as a offensive play caller, it's nice to have that feeling that whatever you call is working.
The crowd that's watching online just got to check out a lot of the game highlights. And offensively, Coach, when you look back, do you have a favorite play call from last weekend?
Probably the play where we got Caleb Headley in the end zone.
That was mine too. It was beautiful.
It's a play that you go back to my days with Coach Malzahn. The offensive world calls that play fight song because usually when you call it, the band plays the fight song. And that's a play that we've called a couple times up to this point in the season. We called it against SEMO in the first game of the year, and the guy barely tips the pass where Caleb's wide open. Last year we called it, I think it was maybe UT Martin at home, and Kenny Rawls was wide open right up the middle of the field. So for us to finally hit that play after a year and a half worth of trying it, that's probably the play that I liked calling the most, and to see Caleb Headley get his first touchdown was a good experience with that too.
Yeah, a lot of new faces finding the end zone as we talked about in the opening. Coach, I want to talk about a couple of the plays that maybe you didn't call. Maybe let's go to the defensive side, and Shad Williams getting a big interception going down the field and sparking that touchdown, and then after that, Jaheim Ingram rumbling down the field. It was kind of really cool to see the 1994 reunion team in the back of that end zone that he was running to. He wearing the number 44 that honors Ronald McKinnon with the purple stars on the helmets. It's just 2 of those plays really special there.
It was an awesome experience. Ashad's pick, I thought his first 2 steps, he didn't know what to do with it for a second there. He had to gather himself. Then he had to figure out, let's take off. Another one we got on this week, Ray Smith is out in front of the play and could have blocked the guy that ended up making the tackle. Ray was so excited for Ashad that he's just staring Ashad down with a number 1 held up in the air. where we could have had another defensive score right there. And then for a local legend, a Muscle Shoals guy, you know, Shad's from Russellville, but Jaheim being the Muscle Shoals guy, to wear that number 44 jersey, to be in the all-purple, and to have those stars on the helmet and to run that ball in with that 94 team in that end zone, man, that was just an overall special experience for our team, but it had to be for the 94 team that was down there celebrating as well. So that was a moment that a lot of us will never forget.
That 94 defense probably had a lot of similar games, Coach, where you held a team to 10 rushing yards, 80 the week before. That's 90 rushing yards the last 2 weeks. And even go back to Tarleton, they scored on 3 or 4 plays, right? And that's really where a lot of their yardage came from. But how stout has this defense been, not only against the ground attack, but just overall? Teams have been able to throw or convert third downs.
You know, the last couple of weeks, I think we're really hitting our stride, where early in the year they were still playing great, but offensively we were putting them in extremely bad situations. We were turning the ball over. We turned the ball over in the red zone. We would give them short field too often. Defense would come off the field from like a 8-10 play drive, and we'd give the ball back on the first or second play of a drive. So we offensively were consistently hurting our defense. In the last 2-3 games, we've done a better job of taking care of the football, and it's allowed our defense to really be even better, because for 2 straight games we won time of possession. This game, time of possession didn't really matter as much in this last game, but our defense has been able to get there fresh. They've been able to fly around. When you know your offense is going to score some points, you probably as a defensive coordinator can call it more freely too. So you're seeing Coach Carabola dial things up and put pressure on the quarterback. So it's a good feeling to be clicking in all 3 phases right now for sure.
Let's expand a little bit on that time of possession. I think we were ranked somewhere in the middle of the pack, probably heading into the Tarleton State game, right? The last 3 games, UNA, those are the top 3 time of possessions in our whole Division I era. The last 3 games, all 3 of them. Utah Tech, 37-47 was our time of possession. The opponent, 22-13. Same thing with Tarleton, 37-22 to 22-38. And then West Georgia right here, 43-16. That's the FCS school record. They only had the ball for 16 minutes. So the last 3 games, it's been impressive. And we shot up now to number 11 in the nation in time of possession, just maybe 3 seconds behind EKU. So you talked about that importance for your defense, but also just how that helps you as a play caller and how that helps you as a team get some momentum holding the ball that long.
You know, if you would have asked me 2 or 3 years ago about time of possession, I would have told you that was a stat in football that didn't really matter as much. And when you talk to offensive tempo guys, they usually don't think about time of possession. Now that I'm wearing the head coach hat, time of possession usually means we took care of the football a lot better, unless you're scoring long touchdowns. You know, something I was really excited to see the other night is we scored 2 different drives on the first play of the drive. So that's that explosive ability. But at the same time, you look back and go, all right, well, as a head coach, we've got to make sure our defense goes out on the field and they're fresh. And time of possession is a way to make sure your defense is fresh when they're out there, and allow them to play even better. So it's a stat that I've grown to love even more over the last 2 years probably, but it really just sends a message to everybody that we're doing a better job of taking care of the ball when we're out there.
And Ben, you talked about those drives. By the way, just to throw this out there, all but the last 2 scoring drives took 3 minutes, or actually 2 minutes or less, 2:46 or less. I mean, we were scoring all of those under 3 minutes or less until the final 2 touchdowns. So to your point, time of possession, but still those short scoring drives and those 3 and outs really helped that.
Absolutely it does.
Coach, we got to get you to an event on campus here in just a little bit. So let's turn the page and talk about Abilene Christian. And let's start with this. After the way this team battled against that tough schedule the first portion of the season, we've moved into league play. 2-1 is our record right now. And we've set up a big showdown with an Abilene Christian team coming in. 3-0 on the year in league play. They are nationally ranked, 12 in one poll, 10 on another poll. And what about the way this team has positioned itself to have an opportunity this weekend to get in that conversation as a top-tier team in the league?
Absolutely. You know, you look at, and I try to keep in touch or keep track of teams that we've played to see how they're doing. SEMO's having a phenomenal year this year. You look at Illinois State. Illinois State's got 1 FCS loss. That's against North Dakota State, and they were battling in the fourth quarter with them before North Dakota State kind of ran away with it. UT Martin beat Kennesaw State, Division I Kennesaw State. They're having they're starting to find their rhythm. Memphis is a extremely talented football team. So all these early battles that we had, or all these early games that we had, that we knew these were good football teams, are showing us even more that they are good football teams. So it really sends a message to our guys. If we would have done better, if we'd have played like we're playing right now, in some of those earlier games, you're sitting here with a different record. So Tarleton State coming in, they're a heck of a football team. We've got tons of respect for them, but we also look at them and go, all right, this is a very similar game to a SEMO game. It's a very similar game to the Illinois State game, where you're battling a very tough opponent. So in a tough game like that, you got to take care of the little things. You can't play a C-minus game. You can't turn the ball over. You can't get out of your gap. You've got to play a sound football game against a very good football team this week with Abilene Christian coming into town, and they've got weapons all over the place. This would be my fourth time, I think, playing their head coach. He was the defense coordinator at Texas Tech during my time at Kansas. He does a really good job on the defensive side of the ball, scheming things up. We've had a close one there last year. So, man, this is a big-time game, and for homecoming, should have a big-time environment at home.
And, Coach, the message to fans watching, listening at home, we need them inside of Brawley Stadium on Saturday.
Absolutely, we need them. Fraternities, sororities, all the other athletic teams, the band, we need them loud, cheerleaders loud, screaming. We need everybody. We need the alumni. We need the local support. We're going to have a big recruiting base. A lot of our local recruits will be there. A lot of our commitments will be there. So we need them to be the X factor. We need them to be what impacts this football game is our home crowd.
Coach, we're looking forward to this one this weekend. We got to get you back to campus. As always, it's great talking with you.
Thank you, guys. Roll Lions.